All right, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm looking at. I was told to do some Bitcoin charting, but I'll take it one step further. Let's do. It's a Bitcoin miner. It's called TeraWulf. I actually had. I had a trade in this, made like a small amount of money, $30 or something, and then it subsequently absolutely rocketed up to here, and then I felt, and I sold for just a small gain. Um, and it rocketed up to here. It would have been ended up being a really nice trade. Then I felt a little vindicated as it pulled back. Um, and now, as you can see, it's continuing up as the strength in Bitcoin continues. Um, so it's kind of an interesting one. I mean, it's held up, and it hasn't crashed basically. So I'm just doing some work on it here. Again, being true to my word, to myself, to you guys. Um, I want to record myself doing this work, and you can just see my process uh, that I've learned and been trying to implement for myself. Um, yeah, I mean, you got a weekly break, well, range expansion here. Again, is what it's called. Uh, So we're just going to try to analyze this stock based off that. Let's check the monthly as well. Yeah, the monthly doesn't work. So it's the weekly that we're looking at here. You can see that it's, again, this is called consolidation. So there's consolidation around this area of price. So the market is just kind of washing the stock back and forth, um, trying to find, you could say, trying to find value for this thing, and whether they want to value this stock higher or not. Um, and again, it's all about what the market wants to do. What does it want to value a stock at, um, type thing. So whether that's machines or actual people, you know. Anyway, so yeah, again, we're just going to take the range there, 376, connected at, what was that number? I think not 376, 395. That's where having a lot of indicators on your chart can get a little confusing. So basically, like they call it like, I mean, they'll make fun of, in the trading world, you can get made fun of if you have too many of these lines on your chart. These lines are moving averages, and if you have a lot of them, they call it a spaghetti. You're looking at a spaghetti chart, um, because it's a, you know, it's a lot of lines, and it looks kind of like spaghetti. But you know, everyone's got to do what helps them. I just like having all these lines on there for referencing. As you can see here, this moving average was a decisive point for the stock, and I that's good for me to see because I know, okay, 45-day price moving average. It's taking the price and averaging the price out over 45 days. And that's why you can see it's lower than where the actual price is, just because it's an average of past pricing. Um, and you know, it's just good to see because you can see it acted as a support point here. And basically, you can surmise if the 45-day moving average acted as a support point here, then it's going to work across all time frames as a support point, um, or at least as a helpful data point where you can look at, okay, maybe there's a chance that a stock will react, whether it's a point of support or a point of resistance. It basically, it can be a helpful data point. Again, it doesn't always hold true. you still always have to consider that there's a chance that this doesn't work as a support point or a resistance point. You can see like here is the 45-day moving average here. If you thought this was going to be a support point and you bought here hoping for a continued move up, well, you were wrong, and the stock went lower. So it didn't exactly work that time. So yeah, you just always have to be cognizant of the fact that there's a potential. It's just a helpful data point, and it's it's not going to work 100% of the time, but you can take various risk decisions based on the data. And anyway, let's I'm just going to count these again. What I could do is I could use I could use a date range here, and that would help me get the actual amount of bars. Maybe that's more efficient than just like counting them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, not every bar is going to count here because they don't all touch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Although, and it's funny. Although gaps do count. Let's call this a 13. Again, since things aren't exact, you don't necessarily have to be exact in the moment. When you go back and reanalyze, then you can maybe look at it. So let's call it a 14 bar mode for all intents and purposes here. So yeah, I mean, again, kind of like it was with Home Depot, if you remember my chart there and the reanalysis I did there. It's not really that far off from this target here, although from like an eye test perspective, it doesn't look that far, but I guess it does end up being about 75-80 cents or something, which if you're trading in large size, that is a significant difference. But for all intents and purposes, for me, I'm not trading a huge amount of size. It's not a huge difference. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting to see. Bitcoin miner, TeraWulf. We'll see how it ensues. I just wanted to... I don't know. I think I saw it on my watch list. I saw it was, it's kind of climbing back up a little bit. And so I was like, let's take a look. I'll go ahead and pause this one. I'll make a separate video. I think what I wanted to do is I wanted to analyze Disney. I don't know about you, but I've been seeing the Disney ads around town a lot. So join me on the next video. I'll take a look at Disney. And for all you Bitcoin people, if you're not in Bitcoin miners, maybe buy a little bit. Anyway, not financial advice. You're responsible for your own financial decisions. Always seek an investment professional. When seeking investment decisions, got a CYA on that. Anyway, it's an interesting look. I'll keep you posted.